You ever notice how you can be sitting across from someone, smiling, polite, and a part of you is already taking notes you won't read for another 6 months? You're at a dinner with someone you just met. You're laughing at the right beats. The wine is fine. And underneath all of it, some quiet part of you is cataloging the way they cut off the server mid-sentence, and it's filing that information somewhere you can't access yet. Someone in your life has probably called this trust issues. They probably said it kindly. They probably told you it was something to work on. Here's what they got wrong. What you have isn't a fear of people. What you have is data. Years of it. Stored somewhere your conscious mind doesn't have the keys to. And every time you meet someone new, that data is running in the background, comparing this person's tone to one you heard before, this version of "I'm sorry" to one that turned out to be a setup, this "I'd never do that to you" to all the previous ones that did. That's not dysfunction. That's pattern recognition. The technical word for what your nervous system is doing is hypervigilance. The mechanism is simpler than the word makes it sound. Your brain has been trained by repetition to flag specific cues as predictive of harm, a particular kind of charm, a specific way of going quiet during conflict, the kind that means it's about to get worse, not better. The texture of an apology that doesn't actually take responsibility. Your brain stores those signatures the way a phone stores a face. The moment one shows up in someone new, the system fires before you've had time to think about it. People will call that paranoia. It isn't. Paranoia is seeing patterns that aren't there. What you're doing is seeing patterns that are. And here's where it gets harder. Pattern recognition doesn't feel like a skill. It feels like dread. It feels like standing in your kitchen on a Tuesday at 9:47, holding your phone, reading a text from someone who just canceled on you for the third time, and the excuse is slightly too detailed in a way you can't explain to anyone. Before you finished reading it, your chest has done that thing it does, and you type, "No worries," because what else is there to type? You put the phone down, and you spend the rest of the night trying to talk yourself out of what you already know. That's not anxiety. That's recognition. I want to be careful here, because there's a version of this that becomes a prison, where every new person gets sentenced for what an old person did, where the pattern matcher gets so loud you can't hear the actual person in front of you anymore. That happens. That's real. And it's worth knowing the difference between a system that's protecting you and a system that's gone past protecting and started locking doors that didn't need locking. But most of the people who get told they have trust issues are not living in that prison. They're living in something more ordinary and more painful. They've correctly identified over and over that some people are safe and some are not. And they've been told that noticing this is a flaw in them rather than information about other people. So you start apologizing for your own perception. You perform the version of yourself who gives everyone the benefit of the doubt, while underneath, your body keeps score in a notebook your therapist never asked to see. And look, I don't have a clean ending for this. I'm not going to tell you to trust more. I'm not going to tell you the right people will earn it. That's the kind of sentence that sounds wise and means nothing. What I'll say is this: you're not broken. You're not closed off. You're not afraid of intimacy. You learned from evidence what certain things tend to mean. And then you got told that the learning was the problem. It wasn't. The pattern was the problem. You just happened to be the one paying attention.